this is a perfect segue because I wanted to talk to you about practicing. I know you're currently rehearsing for your tour, which if you didn't know, guys, artists do rehearse for everything they do on stage. It is very hard work. Tell me about your, I know you have a pre-show, like before you go on stage, cheer. That's about practicing, right?
Oh, we do say something about practicing.
Don't you say this is why we practice?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not crazy. I would be okay with being wrong, but it's like sticks out of my head. How does it go?
Okay, so the cheer has evolved. It's actually kind of fun because I feel like every tour we add something. But before my very first ever ticketed show, it was my current drummer, Drew. He was like this random dude I hired, and so was Gavi. And so we were backstage and we had made a joke about This Is It, the Michael Jackson movie. And at one point he said, this is why we practice. And so we did this. We said, put the hands in the middle. This is why we practice. But it has evolved into now this huge, like chant that we kind of take like one like inside joke line from like each tour. And now the whole crew comes back. Like no one wants to miss the pre-show, like little chant. / like I always say the prayer because no one else wants to. And I was like, does anyone else want to say the prayer? And they're like, no. So I always say the prayer. We all put our hands in the middle.
No, that's exactly, I mean, and maybe I just didn't understand the extent of it. But before I think it was, this is why we practice. And now it's just grown every tour. It sounds like, and probably everybody has something they say. That's great. I like that you do that before you go on stage.
It's fun. It kind of gets everybody, like it's that nice reminder of like, we got this, like, everybody, we all see each other and
it puts you in the headspace to like get on stage and do like, it starts that muscle memory of happening. Like it's okay. Now we're going from everything that happened in the day to this show that you have memorized and you're going to kill it. It gets those gears rolling.
Oh, I love that. I love how you said it puts you in like the muscle memory of like, yes, this is what we do. Now we go, go to stage.
After show food. We got this.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like you found a way to make your show the most difficult thing ever. Like you're like, all right, I'm going to play violin. I'm going to dance. I'm going to set change, now wigs. So practicing is probably an integral part of doing this. Before you go on tour, I know you're doing rehearsals right now, but for somebody who is maybe just goes to a show as a fan, they show up and like, oh, obviously they practice this, but to what extent are you rehearsing prior to a tour? Like how many hours are you putting in and what are you practicing specifically?
Well, I put in so many hours of just trying to get my violin skills up to par. It's like I have like a checklist almost. I don't start choreography until the songs are back and locked and loaded, because it's amazing how fast you forget things. Okay. And all of a sudden you're like, I wrote this song. I played it 100 times on tour. Like, how does that part go? And so I always like really work on the violin skills. And like right now I'm working really hard to make my pinky stronger, like silly stuff like that. I like
pinky push-ups,
technique. Yeah, you know the pinky.
Is that a real thing? Pinky push-ups? You gotta you have to literally work it out?
It should. Well, I have these exercises that I play and It's all to like get the pinky stronger, like such a violin nerd. But yeah, so it's like I practice the violin and the technique and then I start to go in with the dancers and I practice for hours, just the choreography and for days. And that's with no violin for the first 2 days. And then I bring the violin in and then it's hours and days of practicing with the two things together. So, I mean, I can't even tell you number of hours, but between like all the practicing plus all the planning of the show and like we practice the costume changes. They're choreographed basically because you run backstage. You walk off the stage and as soon as you're in the dark, you like start running into that booth and someone's unbuckling this while I'm grabbing this. Then I put this on first and that buckles back. Like, it's even the costume changes are extremely choreographed also for my dancers. They're doing it too. And so it's just, it makes this so it's like a giant puzzle. And I think that's half the fun of it is like everybody has to be on. And at first it feels so intricate, but if everybody just does their piece of the puzzle, then the show works, miraculously, it feels like.